Alright, what's up people? I know my hair's a mess and all that. This is my third time trying to record this video. First time, my computer was tripping. I don't know what's going on, but I got that taken care of. Second time, my battery died and I was right at the end of the video, but I didn't really get to finish what I was trying to say. So it's my third time doing this, so if I don't sound as enthused, that's the reason why. Not that you guys really know, but if I'm sounding kind of bored, it's because this is my third time repeating myself, and yeah. So hopefully everything goes smooth this time. But basically, I just want to make a video talking about the about the consistency issues with gamers. It seems like a lot of gamers have an inconsistency when they talk about certain games or certain systems, or certain games for certain systems, and they'll complain about things with these games, but then they'll praise other games that have similar issues and similar principles. And I find that it seems that a lot of PS3 exclusives get this mainly, and I don't want to start nothing. I'm not trying to say that PC exclusives and Xbox 360 exclusives and Wii exclusives don't get talked about negatively like this as well. It just seems that every time a PlayStation exclusive, mainly the PS3 game comes out, that it always gets nitpicked and critiqued for either being similar to the previous game in that series or being similar to another game in that genre. But and I'm gonna use Zephyrnix Live. I'm gonna use him as an example. Now, I'm not trying to diss on the dude. In fact, go check out his channel. I'm gonna put a link in the description to his channel. I'm not trying to diss on him or anything like that. By all means, I don't want people to think I'm trying to diss on the dude. His channel's a lot better than mine. But I'm just going to use one of his videos as an example to further explain what I'm saying, because I'm not that good explaining things. So I'm just going to use one of his videos that I recently watched to kind of to explain what I'm talking about. I actually wanted to make this video a long time ago, but yeah. So third time going into this. Here we go. The inconsistencies with gamers and how they complain about certain games. And Zephyrnix Live recently, he did a video giving his impressions on the Twisted Metal demo, the PS3 Twisted Metal demo, and he basically didn't like it that much. I'm not gonna sit up here and be like, oh, I'm mad at him because he didn't like the demo and I did and blah blah blah. No, he's whatever. If he didn't like it that much, cool, fine, whatever. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions. There's no game that everybody's gonna like. Not everybody's gonna like every game. Simple as that. Fine. But he goes on to talk about how the game, in the gameplay of this demo, of the Twisted Metal PS3 demo, he said it felt a lot like the PlayStation 1 Twisted Metal games, and he basically was complaining about this because in his opinion it felt like he was playing Twisted Metal on the PS1. Like, he's basically saying that it was very similar to those games. And then he goes on to talk about Halo Reach, and saying how you might as well just play Halo Reach and use Forge World and use that feature and get in a Warthog and things of this nature, and just play Halo Reach instead of playing Twisted Metal because you have a better time doing that in Reach. Now, I love Halo Reach. That's a great game. When I had my original Xbox, I played Halo 3. I played Halo 3 ODST, which I didn't like ODST that much. I thought that game was kind of garbage, but Halo 3 was cool. I played Halo Reach, just not on my 360 because my Xbox 360 died before Halo Reach came out. But I have played the game. I enjoyed it. It's my favorite Halo game on the 360. One of my favorite Halo games, period, and actually one of my favorite first-person shooters, period. Surprise, surprise. But he went on to kind of talk about that with, not really necessarily comparing Halo Reach and Twisted Metal, but just the fact that you can get in vehicles and you can shoot people, and basically saying that you would have more fun doing that than in Twisted Metal on this demo, because it felt like the PlayStation 1 Twisted Metal games, right? Now, my thing is, how come it's okay for games like Halo Reach, which he talked about, to basically play like the original Halo games, Halo 1 and 2, on the original Xbox, but it's not okay for Twisted Metal to, apparently, in his opinion, the Twisted Metal demo felt a lot like the PS1 Twisted Metal games. And for anybody to sit here and tell me, oh, Halo Reach doesn't play like the old Halo games, I'm sorry, but I'm going to just disagree with you. Like I said, I played all the Halo games. Halo Reach feels a lot like the old Halo games, but to me, that's not a big deal. I don't find that to be a bad thing. And I mean, if you look at some of the weapons, like the pistol and Halo Reach, and how you can zoom in and things like that, they try to kind of bring it back to how the older Halo games used to be. Bungie even talked about this when they were, coming out with the game and everything, and I found no problem with that. But it seems like certain gamers, using Zephyrix just as one example, were complaining about Twisted Metal for this same thing, even though they added more vehicles, more power-ups, more maps, things of that nature. Just like Halo Reach added more, abilities and weapons and maps as well. And Forge, Halo 3 had Forge, and then you got Forge World and Halo Reach, a feature that I think is awesome. Very cool for the first person shooter genre, a feature that I would love to see in Twisted Metal. I know that's not a first person shooter, but I would love to see a Forge type of mode for Twisted Metal. I think that would be pretty cool. Maybe not to the extent of Forge or Forge World, but something in those lines, maybe like a smaller version of what Forge has done for Halo. I think that would be cool for Twisted Metal. That's just a little side note, but if you see me looking down, it's because I wrote some things down just so I wouldn't forget, because it's like my third time doing it, and I had to let my battery charge and everything. But if you look at, like I was talking about with Halo Reach, the original Halo games didn't really have that much recoil. If you look at Halo Reach, which is the most recent Halo game, still doesn't have really any recoil, things like that kind of pissed me off in that game, but the game is still fun. And he was complaining about Twisted Metal for his reasons, and like I said, I have reasons for with Halo Reach, with the whole recoil thing. That's dumb how Halo really doesn't have recoil. 1 through all the way to Reach, there's really not that much recoil compared to other shooters, but the game is still good. Like I said, it's still one of the best first-person shooters, even though it still plays like the original Xbox games for the most part, using the non-recoil as an example, the very small recoil. So where's the consistency is what I'm saying. How come games like Halo Reach, it's fine for it to be similar to the older Halo games, and that's cool. How come games like Mario Galaxy 1 and Mario Galaxy 2, either one, because basically Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are pretty similar. How come games like that can play basically like Mario 64, but it's okay? Nobody has a problem as much with Mario Galaxy being very similar to Mario 64. Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 being very similar as well, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to sit over here and say that PC exclusives or Xbox or Nintendo exclusives don't get this type of, people don't talk about it in this way either. It just seems that PlayStation exclusives, mainly PS3 exclusives, get it the most. And I noticed a lot of Nintendo PC and or Xbox 360 fanboys are usually the main ones critiquing these games, which I think is weird, because why would you really care about a PS3 exclusive if you're mainly a PC gamer or a Nintendo gamer or Xbox gamer anyway? And if it seems like they try to hold these games on such a high pedestal, and if these games, these PS3 exclusive games, borrow anything from other games in a similar genre, or if it's too similar to the previous game, then there's a problem. But if games like Halo are similar to the previous Halo games, that's not a problem. Or if Mario Galaxy 2 is similar to Mario Galaxy 1, that's not a problem. Or the 64 one, like I said, it's okay. People overlook things like Little Big Planet 1 and especially Little Big Planet 2 for the things that it's done in the platforming genre, with being able to create your own shit. I mean, you can literally create your own shit, your own games, your own levels, your own cutscenes, your own movies, put your own voice in these games, and do all this stuff. People overlook all of that and want to talk about the jump mechanic and say that it's bad or it's broken, which to me it is not. Far from it. People want to say, oh, it's not like the jumping in Mario, so that means that's bad. Even though the jumping in games like Donkey Kong and Kirby, the jumping in those games aren't like the jumping gameplay in Mario, but there's no problem for Kirby or Donkey Kong games like that having a different type of jump mechanic. Even though you have springs in Little Big Planet 1, and you have bounce pads and things like this in Little Big Planet 2, and you can change the gameplay a lot in Little Big Planet 2. But people overlook that, even though games like Sonic also have springs and that you can use to help you jump, right? Just like you have springs and bounce pads in a Little Big Planet to help you jump, but nobody complains about that in Sonic. And I love the original Sonic games. The first game I ever played was Sonic, but people don't ever say nothing about that. How there's springs everywhere in that game. There's springs and things to help you bounce, to help you jump in a Little Big Planet, but people still complain about the jumping because it's not like Mario. Like I said, Donkey Kong and Kirby's jumping is different than Mario, but that's okay. There's an inconsistency. There's a consistency issue going on with gamers when they complain about certain things with these games over other games. What else am I going to talk about? And then with Zephyrnix, getting back to that video as an example, like I said, he was talking about nuke mode. Now this, far as what he said about how the demo didn't do a good job explaining nuke mode, I agree with them on that. They did a half-assed job explaining nuke mode for people that don't know what nuke mode is. To me, they didn't really do a good job explaining it in the demo, which I agree with him. My thing is, if he's a hardcore gamer or whatever you want to say, he owns a PS3, you think he would have already known about nuke mode prior to this demo, seeing as they've been talking about nuke mode since 2010 when they announced the game, which kind of shows, to me that he doesn't really care that much about these PS3 exclusives, which makes me wonder why he has a PS3. Him and other people that are similar in that also complain or don't care as much about these PS3 exclusives. Like I said, I'm just using him as an example. I'm not trying to diss on him, but I'm just using Zephyrnix as an example because he did this video recently. But if you don't know about these features in these PlayStation games, it's like, why do you have one? Because majority of the games on the PS3 you can play on the 360 and you can play on the PC. So if you don't care that much about the exclusives, what's the point of having a PlayStation 3? Since that's the most recent, home console. What's the point? But I guarantee you he's up to date on that Wii U and he knows about, things that's going on with the Wii U. I guarantee you when they talk more about Halo 4 this year, this month they're supposed to be talking more about Halo 4. I guarantee you he's going to be, listening on that, getting information on that and staying up to date on that. Just like I said with the Wii U, I'm sure he's staying up to date with those things, but he obviously hasn't stayed up to date with Twisted Metal because he doesn't care, and that's a PS3 exclusive. So why do you have the system? You see what I'm saying? That's kind of weird. But anyway, far as nuke mode goes, he was basically comparing it to Battlefield 2142, which I personally never played that one. I played Battlefield Bad Company 1 and 2. I played a little of Battlefield 2, I played Battlefield 3, and I played Battlefield 1942. But this particular Battlefield game I never played, and he was comparing a mode called Titan in Battlefield 1942 to nuke mode, which he didn't know that much about, and they didn't do a good job explaining it in the demo. And like I said, he didn't take the time to look up the mode on YouTube or anything to figure out more about it because he's probably not that excited for Twisted Metal. So what I did, since I never played this particular Battlefield game, I went on YouTube, looked up various different videos on this game and this particular mode because this has to be the mode that he's talking about, Titan mode. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the mode that he was talking about in his video when he was comparing it to Nuke and saying that, oh, this is nothing new. Oh, they're basically copying it from Battlefield like it's a bad thing. Once again, going back to what I was saying about inconsistencies. and he was comparing the two modes. Now, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing that these modes are similar, or that David Jaffe or the EC Play team maybe got ideas from this mode. I'm not disagreeing or agreeing with them. The thing is, if you look at a lot of interviews with David Jaffe, he never acts like this game, not just Nuke mode, but the game Twisted Metal overall. He's not acting like this is some brand new type of thing, or that he's doing a whole bunch of brand new things that never been done before in gaming. He compares Twisted Metal all the time to other games like Mario Kart or Mortal Kombat. Saying that's kind of like a fighter meets a shooter and blah blah blah. Like he'll credit other games all the time. So it's like he's never really bragging the game or hyping up to be some new innovative thing, or that he's adding all these new innovative things that weren't there before. Even though Nuke, like Zephyrnik said, wasn't in Twisted Metal before, but he's saying that this particular mode has been done before. Now, a developer that I would say is kind of overhyping their game and kind of acting like they're about to do some crazy innovative shit, even though we never actually seen real live actual proper gameplay, is Naughty Dog. I forget the people's names, not Christoph and Evan Wells, but the guys that mainly worked on Uncharted 2, who moved on to make The Last of Us, which is the current game that they're in the middle of making. The main creative director and those guys that are making that game, if you look at a lot of interviews with those guys, they've been bragging their game up, acting like they're about to do something innovative, which we kind of have to wait and see. But if he said something about that game, I could understand, because they've been kind of like talking some smack, and I'm kind of like, okay, like, I know you're Naughty Dog and everything, but I'm sidetracking. David Jaffe moments are, but speaking of David Jaffe, he never really talks about his game that way, and yet he's complaining, saying, "Oh, this mode isn't new. It's new for Twisted Metal, but it's not new for gaming." Why does it have to be? Why do people, not necessarily Zephyrnik, but why do people overlook things like I said with Little Big Planet? And please correct me if I'm wrong, or let me know what console game, if any, that is in the platforming genre that's came out before 2008 that's done what Little Big Planet 1 or Little Big Planet 2 has done. Let me know. Because I'm pretty sure, as far as consoles go, that was one of, if not the first game to do what it has done for the platformer genre. But people overlook this. Like I was saying, consistency issues. But he was comparing, once again, this mode Titan to Nuke. So I'm just going to show you a clip of Titan, the mode Titan in Battlefield, so you guys can kind of get an idea of what he was talking about when comparing this mode, and saying that this isn't anything new, and basically acting like this is a bad thing, that they're adding this type of mode to Twisted Metal, even though I don't really see this being a copy and paste. But you guys can take your own opinions, and yeah.
One of the most interesting online modes for any shooter. The point of this is to capture these missile silos. It's pretty much just like capturing control points in the other Battlefield game. And these missile silos will shoot missiles periodically at the enemy Titan, which is essentially a floating ship. Now, the Titan has shields and armor, and you can destroy both of those with these missiles. First, you have to destroy the shields, obviously, and the first part of the round is to only destroy the shields. Once those are down, though, you can either destroy the Titan with missiles, or you can board the Titan. Once you've boarded the Titan, you have to destroy 4 consoles, and after that, the doors to the inner core open up, and you have to start destroying the core. Now, it is a lot faster to destroy the core through that method than using missiles, but it is really hard to do it, because if the other team is defending their Titan, it's going to be a really hard battle, and if they successfully defend it long enough, and you have enough of your forces on the Titan instead of keeping control of the missile points, your Titan might be destroyed by missiles. So you have to kind of use your forces wisely, and that's why there is a commander also in 2142, just like there is in Battlefield 2. However, we don't have commander in Bad Company, which really stinks. I'm really hoping that they bring that back in Battlefield 3.
Okay, that was a really good way of explaining a Titan mode for Battlefield 2142. That's that mode. Now here's Nuke mode for anybody who doesn't know what that is, and here's them explaining this mode.
What is the goal of Nuke? Well, if you look up, you see these giant statues being carried around by transport helicopters in the guise of the faction leaders. And you basically have to destroy your faction statue before they destroy yours. But obviously these are huge, giant, metal monsters, and how do you do it? Straight up weapons won't take them out. All right, so if you look at the rooftops, you'll notice a couple of the faction leaders. Here's Sweet Tooth, who's manning his gun turret. And across the map on the other side, we also have Dollface over here, and she's manning her turret too. And the goal of this mode is to capture the faction leader. And this is where team play begins to come into it, where basically if you run in and try to grab the leader, you're going to lose a lot of health. You send your buddies in instead to weaken up the forces, the defenses, and then you're able to go in, as we'll see in a second, and grab the leader. And so now that you've got, in this case, Sweet Tooth being dragged behind your car, the question is, what do you do with this guy? So if you look around the level, you'll notice these missile launchers right here. And each faction has their own missile launcher. And so there's this perimeter you see, this yellow ring. If you can bring the faction leader into the yellow ring, into the perimeter, and keep him there long enough, you'll begin to charge up and bring the missile launcher to life. Now, teamwork, again, is crucial, because if you lose the faction leader in that perimeter, like capture the flag, it respawns back at base, and you got to go back and get him again. So if you can get a buddy to post up on top of a skyscraper with a sniper rifle, it's really effective at taking down the enemies. You can also send in vehicles that are really, really strong, like the motorcycles that have flaming chainsaws. They can take out bad guys in 2 or 3 hits. So in this case, we've charged up the missile launcher because we've kept the leader in there long enough. And now all that's left to do is basically sacrifice the leader to the missile launcher, and you will earn your faction a missile launch. So here he goes. Now he's in, and now you've earned the missile. Now what's left to do is you and your team have to guide that missile and protect it from helicopters and a variety of other attacks into the enemy statue. And the first team that...
Alright, now there's that mode. Now, like I'm saying, I'm not trying to sit here and defend the mode and say, oh, this is a brand new mode, and no, they didn't copy from Battlefield, blah blah blah. But I showed you both modes, and they were both good. Had good commentaries telling you what's going on in both modes. My thing is, regardless of if it was a copy and paste of this Titan mode or not, it's capture the flag. Nuke mode is basically capture the flag. They've said this a million times in various videos. If you watch different interviews with David Jaffe or Scott Campbell or whoever from East Elite Play, they'll tell you that this is, basically our version of capture the flag. So regardless if this Titan mode ever existed or not, there's been various games, various shooters that have the capture the flag mode. So you know what I mean? Like they tell you like right there, like in the in these interviews. If you watch these interviews, they'll tell you like, yeah, this is just capture the flag. So why is this a big deal? Why is this so bad? Or oh look, Sony games just copying again. But once again, Halo Reach, first Halo game to have sprint. Was this the first-person shooter to have sprint? Hell no. There's been plenty of shooters that have implemented sprint into their game before Halo Reach came out. Nobody says nothing. But for some reason, this is a problem. For some reason, it's a problem that, according to him and other folks, that this new Twisted Metal reminds them too much of the old Twisted Metal games. But it's okay that Reach is like the old Halo games. It's okay that Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 both are a lot like Mario 64. That's okay. Those are inconsistencies. And I'm sorry this video, I know it's running really long, it's 20 some odd minutes, but this is my third time trying to do this video, and I just want to make sure I said pretty much everything that I was trying to say the other 2 times that I was trying to record this video real quick and make sure. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to say. But I just don't understand this inconsistency with gamers in general. Not necessarily just with PlayStation exclusives, but in general. I mean, it could be PC exclusives, Nintendo exclusives, Xbox exclusives, multi-platform games, whatever. I don't understand this inconsistency. It's just that me personally, I notice it more with PlayStation games. Maybe that's just me, but I just think that's really weird. Yeah, once again, check out Zephyrnix. Check out his channel. I'll put a link in the description. I was just using his video as an example, so I'm really not trying to diss on the dude or nothing like that. So yeah, I'll catch y'all later. If I forgot to say anything, I'll probably make another video because this is running way too long. Sorry for the long video for you guys that don't like long videos. And yeah, let me know what you guys think, if you agree, disagree, whatever. I'm sure most of you are gonna disagree. But yeah, peace out.